is saying, chitty, 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 bang, bang. Chitty, 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 bang, bang. Chitty, chitty, bang, bang.
Chitty, chitty, bang, bang.
Bang, bang, your boy is back from the O2 after just an insane weekend for sure. And Chitty Chitty Bang Bang is coming to bang in this one against Albert Duraev. And this fight's kicking off the main card, and definitely for a reason, because we know that Chitty Bang Bang is going to want to rectify that most recent setback when he got absolutely slept by Gregory Rodriguez, aka RoboCop. And that was an interesting fight, right? Because Chitty was kind of winning. He's split RoboCop's face wide open. He had that gnarly, seemingly 6-inch gash just peeking out of his head, a third eye, and somehow he was still able to lose that fight because Gregory Rodriguez just demonstrated insane heart, and Chitty Bang Bang started to sort of fade as that second round went longer. So it was interesting and a notable setback because Chitty was on just a beautiful streak before that. He smoked my boy the power bar. He smoked Dusko Todorovic, and he was just doing a lot of great things and seemingly like was a guy who, when he finally made the UFC, it's like, wow, this guy definitely belongs here. And then he got sort of set back a peg. So he's taking on Albert Duraev in this one, aka Machete, who's 15-4 overall, 1-1 in the UFC. And the last time we saw him, he got absolutely slept too, right? Joaquin Buckley was able to smoke him in the second round, and that was a fight that got stopped as soon as the second round ended, and probably a good justified stoppage for sure. But Duraev too was a guy who was having a lot of success, was on a fat win streak. I mean, he had like double-digit straight wins, and his last loss was to Anatoly Tarkov way back in the day. So the fact that Buckley was able to smoke him as easily as he did, I thought was a little bit surprising. And it makes sense that he's a decent dog in this one, coming in against Chidi Njokuani, where Njokuani's minus 195, Duraev's plus 150, and all of Tapology is pretty bullish on Chitty Bang Bang. So what are your thoughts on this one, Meat? How do you think that this card gets kicked off with this fight? And are you going to take Duraev, or is Chitty going to make light work?
Yeah, this is a good fight because you have Russian wrestler, good chance he tries to wrestle Chitty and could get an easy win, but also you have Chitty who absolutely knocks people's heads off or splits their skin to the bone and possibly loses. So either way, it could go one way or the other. I think Chitty's gonna get it done. I'm rooting for him. I'm a big fan of him. I like his fighting style. Any guy that's exciting and splits people's skin to the skull will always get my vote versus a crotch sniffer, as Jorge Masvidal would call it. And but it's gonna be a good fight. I think it'll be very close and competitive. I don't think it's gonna be a blowout like Tapology shows, but I do agree with Tapology where if he does win, it's going to be by knockout. I don't see this going the distance. It's going to be either ground and pound, wrestling, maybe sub, or a KO, TKO on the feet by Chitty.
Yeah, I buy that too for sure. I think that Chitty, if he does get this victory, that it's most likely by a KO, similar to how Buckley was able to do so against Duraev. I guess I am concerned though, like, what are your thoughts on how Chitty will do in the takedown defense department? Because in the UFC, I mean, he's fought Powerbar, who I wouldn't say he's much of a wrestler. He is a grind you out, push you up against the cage type fighter who will do a lot of clinch work. And Chitty did well with him, and he fought Dusko, who has zero wrestling, and then RoboCop didn't use much when he lost that fight as well. So I think that Duraev will be the toughest wrestling test for Chitty to date. Are you at all concerned with Chitty being able to stuff those takedowns, or is Duraev's offensive wrestling just not threatening enough to where it'll thwart Chitty's long reach and ultimate stand-up game? Like, do you see the wrestling factoring into this one, Mel?
Yeah, so how I kind of look at it is, I think if Joaquin Buckley can get the job done, Chitty Bang Bang can get it done. That's really my only logic in this fight, because I think Chitty's a better fighter than Joaquin, but maybe I'm off on this. I don't know. You guys will have to let me know in the comments if I'm right on that. But yeah, I really do think Chitty gets this done, and he should dominate from the beginning to the end.
Yeah, right. I mean, ever since RoboCop got slept by Bruno Contender Series Meathead, like, it almost just seems like Njokuani, Duraev, Buckley, all these guys are so evenly matched to where it's tough to really provide any profound insight. But I think I'm with you, Meat. I think I'm going to roll with Njokuani. But for me, like, I see the odds sort of narrowing a little bit. It seems as though some action is coming in on Duraev, and it might honestly end up closing even closer to like a pick'em. And For that reason, I'm probably going to fade Njokuani just because I do worry that maybe Duraev is able to take him down, make this thing ugly, grind it out, and if Njokuani had some cardio issues as a result of the second round and all the RoboCop damage he was acquiring, then maybe Duraev can also suck the gas tank out of Njokuani. But for the Meat Boy's sake, I'm going to pick Njokuani, just not going to consider it the confident lock of all locks because I do see a world where Duraev might get this one done. And 18% is roll with Duraev, and you'll notice it's very diversified, right? Some say KO, some say copper for the sub, some say decision. I think that's fair because Duraev does have a tool set to work with. We'll just see if it's enough to take out Chidi Bang Bang, but I'll roll with you. I'll take Njokuani. I'll go by KO, but I don't know, me. It could be a close one. Any last thoughts?
Yeah, 100% agree with you guys. Throw in the comments, is this a close one or is this a mauling? Are you taking Chidi or are you taking Machete? Throw in the comments, smash, subscribe, like.